And we are right now in the middle of breaking news in a developing story. Evansville police officers are in the middle of an active shooter situation. This is near Diamond and Kentucky. We confirmed this through Central Dispatch. Shelley, this is a live picture from the scene. We're told by our crew that people are obviously being kept away and told to stay in their homes.
Well, in fact, Diamond Avenue is completely shut down to traffic. What you're seeing right there are law enforcement responding. We have many EPD units there. Sheriffs are also talking about this and responding as well. AMR is also on scene, as well as Evansville Fire Departments are there. We are talking about shots fired situation, an active shooter. In fact, the Vanderbilt County Sheriff tweeted out not long ago to shelter in place, telling people living near this area of Negley and Diamond to shelter in place, stay indoors, because police are dealing with an active shooter. Several rounds of shots had been fired against these officers there, and that looks like a lot of traffic stopped.
That's right. They've sealed off that area, and we're being very cautious on what we broadcast from scanner traffic. We don't do that. We're just reporting what we do know, but you can see right there an EPD officer with a firearm, and I was trying to count the number of police units in the scene, and there is an officer right there who is aiming a firearm. But we're going to be careful on what we say and what we show if we can zoom out possibly on this. But this entire area in the Diamond Avenue, Kentucky area and in toward Negley has been sealed off. There have been reports, Central Dispatch says, of an active shooter and gunfire. And again, this gives you an idea right here how many police units are on the scene of this situation out on the north side. And as we have reported, Diamond Avenue has been shut down in that area.
And of course, tonight was the Otters opening night. That game is just now letting out. That's what some of that traffic may be from. The Otters game, Bosse Field there on Heidelbach. Diamond is a very easy, well-traveled road right in that way. And as you can see, it is completely shut down now as police officers are responding and sheriff's deputies are responding to this situation right now at Diamond and Negley. Again, we have an active shooter situation. Police have responded, trying to locate this person and shut this situation down. The whole Diamond Avenue is shut down from traffic at this time. And there you see police officers poised, responding to find this person.
And also to put this in perspective, this is just north of Diamond Avenue. North High School is off there to the, or the former North High School, I should say, is off toward the south side of that area there. And as you can see here, it looks like...
Look at that, people getting over the median there to turn around.
That's right, they're turning around, and that's the underpass there at Diamond Avenue heading toward US 41. And again, there is a very large contingent, and I can see off in the distance there, they're shutting Diamond off way back there toward 41. But there is a large contingent of EPD officers. Now, as far as this active shooter situation is concerned, we're not sure if there is one individual involved in this or others, but several EPD officers were dispatched to this scene probably about 35 to 40 minutes ago.
Yeah, it started about 9:30, and we really heard it ramp up on police scanners about 9:35, and it's been going since then. And as I said earlier, the Vanderbilt County Sheriff tweeted out a message for folks in that area to shelter in place. Now, you see some folks getting out of their cars that are waiting in line there in traffic, and that's probably not a good idea at this time because, again, as I said, the Vanderbilt County Sheriff is telling folks to shelter in place, meaning stay indoors, because they are looking for a person. It's an active shooter situation.
Right, and we have not confirmed, or we've not been told if anyone has been hurt by this gunfire in this situation. But as you can see, there's traffic there stopped on Diamond Avenue in the westbound lanes. And again, this is toward Stringtown and Kentucky, not far from the old North High School location. But an active shooter situation. And just if we can pan back just one more time, you can see the large number of EPD cars, and also I would assume Vanderbilt County Sheriff's deputies' cars back in the distance there that have shut down Diamond Avenue. And these are just the officers on Diamond that we're talking about.
And our photographer has been on the scene now for about 15 minutes, and he has been kept pretty far back, as you can see. But you're seeing a lot of shakiness, obviously, because this is a live situation. He is there getting what he can to bring you the situation. It looks like now a police officer is actually trying to get some of those cars rerouted. He is actually pushing our photographer back as well. I think that partly because of the safety of the situation, hopefully cautioning those folks to get back in their cars and perhaps even trying to reroute traffic at some point.
Okay, and when I talked to Central Dispatch, I was told this was a situation, and the exact wording was an active, and this was for confirmation, an active shooter situation in the Negley and Kentucky area here on the north side. And as you can see, once again, several EPD units are in the scene, several officers with their weapons drawn. We're going to stay with this, but we'll be moving on here shortly. But as you can see, we've got a situation. Diamond Avenue is very heavily traveled. It is a major highway on the west side, so EPD right now working the situation.
We definitely, our photographer will stay on scene. We are keeping in touch with the situation. We will bring you the very latest, but a very emotional situation for many of the police officers responding, which we heard, over the scanners. Certainly our thoughts are with all of those responding right now. And again, the Vanderbilt County Sheriff has tweeted for folks living in that area to shelter in place, stay indoors, because of this active shooter situation at Diamond and Negley, again, as Brad said, near Stringtown Road and the Old North High School.
Eyewitness News staying with this developing and breaking situation on the north side of Evansville. I just got off the phone with Central Dispatch. We're putting out what we can confirm from dispatch, not to compromise the tactical situation that you are seeing. If we can get that live picture up of the area there on Diamond Avenue, an active shooter situation. This is what we have learned. Central Dispatch confirms it was a white male, I believe to be one individual who opened fire on officers. I asked if anybody has been hurt. They cannot confirm anything on that. We asked if ambulances were at the scene, and we have been told yes, they are on standby along with the Evansville Fire Department. And Shelley, we see a contingency of police officers. It looks like citizens.
Like they're escorting people to their cars to get them moved out of the area.
Yes.
It looks that way. At this point, we don't know for sure. This is at, as Brad said, at Diamond and Negley Avenues. That's near, that's the North Kentucky, near the old North High School. Yeah. And the entire Diamond Avenue has been shut down now by police since about 9:45. They have been looking for this active shooter. The Vanderbilt County Sheriff tweeted and asked people to shelter in place, meaning stay in your homes if you live in this area. We got a call from a neighbor living right in this area who told us that that person had heard a loud explosion, is how she described it, at 9:30 this evening. Now, that's just about when all of this began. Since then, police responded, asked for backup. A lot more arrived, as you can see, an inordinate amount of police officers, police cruisers there from not only EPD, but also Indiana State Police. You can see some detective cars there. The Vanderbilt County Sheriff's Department is also tweeting and talking about this as well. Again, the sheriff asked folks to stay in their homes and let police do their work to try to find this active shooter.
And to give you some idea and put this in perspective on why this is obviously a serious situation, just see for yourself, folks, the number of people here, people who are there's a sense of urgency here, getting people to an area, presumably of safety, but just the number of Evansville police officers at the scene, the number of cruisers that you see, and this also includes Indiana State Police troopers. They brought they're responding to this scene, and also the Vanderbilt County Sheriff's Office has deputies at the scene, and Diamond Avenue is shut down and has been shut down since this all began shortly after 9:30 tonight. And it seems like there is activity in this area. We keep seeing activity near this building.
It looks like it looks like some folks have pulled over and gotten out of their cars, and now they're trying to get them to move out, because those don't look like police cars. I may be wrong, but they don't look. They look like they're trying to move them out of the area because of the severity, the very seriousness of this situation. They don't want people just rubbernecking and looking. And I don't know if our photographer can hear us, but there is at one point where you can actually see police there with their guns drawn up against one of the buildings in the back there. Now, these are folks, police officers in the area, but as you move on over right there, you can see police officers with their poised with their guns drawn in that direction. Now, I know that they were having difficulty locating. It looks like an alley. We're told from the photographer on our scene that they have that gun pointed toward an alley back behind those buildings. We do know that they've not located the active shooter, but that is why so much police presence is in this area. And they built a perimeter and they stopped traffic because of the severity of the situation.
And this has been going on now since about an hour. It seems like, I'm sure, for these officers and the people involved in this, possibly seems like an eternity, but there have been so many officers dispatched here, and they are letting people actually drive in the westbound lanes heading east to get out of the area. And they're obviously trying to just get people who may have just driven up on this scene and not knowing what's going on.
Before they were able to shut down Diamond further out. Now, also,
well, wait a minute.
There you go. You got someone coming in here pretty quickly here with the door open. And while we were watching the scene here, I will tell you, too, that the Otters were having their opening day. Their game wrapped up. The fireworks were going off about the same time as this was happening, but they have confirmed that the fireworks was not what was happening here. It was not what these officers were hearing. They confirmed that it was gunshots, and it is an active shooter situation. But a lot of the traffic that would typically leave Bosse Field would go toward Diamond, and that's why they had such a backup of traffic early on. And police, it looks like, have just now really gotten those folks turned around and off of Diamond Avenue.
And you see several police units, law enforcement units right there. But also there is, beyond that point, there is another cluster way back there that appears to be even more officers, more units back there with their lights on, obviously blocking eastbound traffic on Diamond Avenue. And this is... and as you can see, we've even got them now there near the underpass. But what Central Dispatch tells us, one active shooter who opened fire, fired several shots, could not confirm, Central Dispatch could not confirm if anyone has been shot or injured in this situation, but did... Okay, and I've just been told via our Eyewitness News Facebook page, Leanne Stuck is reporting live on Facebook. That's the Eyewitness News Facebook page. And now we see an officer who is moving. There's been so much movement in this, both in the cars and also on foot. And as we mentioned a little while ago, there were officers trained with their weapons on an area, an alley there, north of Diamond Avenue. Not far from the old former North High School.
Let's do that. Let's listen in definitely to what Leanne is saying. Leanne Stuck, our reporter, is on the scene right now, and she's doing an update on Facebook. If we can, as soon as you get it, start playing it, and I will stop talking. But we're trying to get Leanne Stuck, who's on the scene, and she is obviously not in the same spot that our photographer is. They have pushed our photographer back twice, so they're trying to keep people away from the area. And Leanne is not able to meet up with him. So let's listen in and see what Leanne is saying.
There's Leanne right there.
Now here on Springtown Road in Diamond.
Okay, we lost that signal for just a second, but that was Leanne Stuck you saw there, and she is obviously about as close as she can be allowed to this scene. They are pushing reporters, our photographer, back, and as you can see, they've got units now near the underpass. There on Diamond Avenue. A police unit moving very quickly now toward actually traveling in the eastbound lanes toward the scene there near the pedestrian bridge, and that officer was proceeding very quickly to get to an area there. We're going to try to get Leanne back, but you know, with technology and social media, sometimes.
And I'm going to also suggest to the control room too, as soon as Leanne finishes with her Facebook, if we could get her live on the phone and she could tell us, because obviously she is not hooked up with our photographer there to be able to get in front of the camera and talk to us. Again, this is at Diamond and Negley Avenue near the old, just north of the old North High School on the other side of the or Diamond rather, excuse me, other side of the Diamond Avenue there where this started. The home where this started is just north there, but you can see police are moving in the area.
Moving into that alley area now.
And police have been all over this area. They're trying to locate an active shooter, as we understand it. Vanderbilt County Sheriff is telling people that live in this area to shelter in place, do not come out for their safety. And they've turned many people away who have been caught up in this in traffic, and now there's pretty much virtually no traffic there at all. And
Central Dispatch did tell us, and understandably, I think it just goes with what's happening here. They do have ambulances and firefighter personnel standing by in this scene. But what you see here, this cluster of lights, represents the Indiana State Police. Evansville Police obviously have a huge presence here on the north side of Evansville right now, and our photographer he's having to move at the discretion of the officers nearby. The last thing we want to do is possibly cause a distraction or put our photographer in harm's way, potential harm's way, and interfere with what the EPD and Indiana State Police and Vanderbilt County Sheriff's Office is doing, but right now he appears to be in that field. Okay, we're getting a better shot right now, as you can see, and that gives you an idea. Again, we were just seeing some of the police units, but these are almost converged, like they are near. Help me out here, Shelley. That might be near Kentucky Avenue. I'm not sure. There's the.
It is. It is North Kentucky. Yeah.
Okay, are you talking about the underpass? I'm talking to. Okay. Okay, he is zoomed in. So
our photographer is near the railroad that passes over the road there, and you can see the donut bank right there. So that gives you a perspective of where this is actually taking place. And again, this is an active shooter situation. It's been going on, as Brad said, for about an hour now. Police have gotten everyone out of the area. It is swarmed by police right now. A lot of police right there looking for this shooter. And it started, again, at a house nearby. Police were shot at, and we are...
and obviously, the situation that it is, we're in nighttime hours right now, and that makes the this situation so much more difficult for law enforcement, but obviously it's still fluid.
And can ask the control room if we could see if we could get Leanne stuck on the phone, if she could do a phone to tell us what she knows from the scene, since she has not been able to be there with our photographer, that we could hear her, because she might have some new information being there closer. Now, they are being kept away, though, mind you. So we may be seeing even more than Leanne can at this point. Not sure about that. But
the only confirmation that we're getting, and what we are trying to do, is make sure what we're reporting is accurate and not just throwing it out there on the air. But we do know that it is one individual, and this is what Central Dispatch has told us, confirmed to us, and no confirmed reports of any injuries at this time. And it was an individual described as a white male who began open firing, presumably on Evansville police officers or any law enforcement officer who was in the vicinity of Negley and Kentucky, which is just to the north there. It'd be to the right of your screen, way down there. And our photographer is moving right now, trying to negotiate where he can be safe, and following, of course, the situation being guided somewhat by law enforcement officers.
And I can tell you, as Brad has mentioned throughout this, we do not report from scanner traffic. We do try to confirm what we know But I can tell you that what we did here on scanner traffic, it was extremely emotional from these police officers at the scene.